Thank you for joining our Intro to Government Contracting for Women-Owned Businesses webinar. My name is James Forrest. I'm the Program Coordinator for the Northern California Procurement Technical Assistance Center, which, as you can tell, is a bit of a mouthful, so we're known as Norcal PTAC for short. We have PTAC Procurement Specialist Liz Brazil delivering the main presentation today, so thanks, Liz. And then we also have PTAC Procurement Specialist Christina Jones, who will be helping out with the Q&A. And we're very thankful to be partnering with the New America Women's Business Center for this event. So we have Asbury Lockett, their director, and the client manager, Linda Lee, joining from their team to talk a bit about their services. So thanks, guys. But first, I want to talk a little bit about our services, and then we'll get to them. So Norcal PTAC, we are a nonprofit. I should have gone to the intro slide here. Here's everyone's beautiful faces here. So Norcal PTAC, we are a small nonprofit. We are set up to help small businesses achieve success in the government marketplace. We're funded mostly by the Defense Logistics Agency, that's the DLA. We also get extra grant funding from state and local sources. All of this means we provide all of our services at no cost to the public. We are hosted by the Humboldt State University Sponsored Programs Foundation. That's located up in Arcata, California, where that red star is on the coast. That's where I am. And last year, we actually helped our clients win more than $268 million. So this is how we do it. We provide three basic core services. These are all provided at no cost to you if you are a client of ours. So the first is one-on-one counseling. Procurement specialists, for instance, Liz or Christina here, can help you individually with just about any government contracting related topic you can think of. So if your business is located in one of these green counties, then you are eligible to apply for services. We can meet with you via phone, video conference, email, etc., to walk you through all these processes that are required in order to sell your goods and services to the government. The other thing we offer, the second thing, are these workshops like this one. These days, they're almost all virtual. Well, they are all virtual, but we will get back to in-person workshops someday, fingers crossed. These are open to anyone to join from anywhere. So you don't have to be in a client base. You don't have to be in one of these green counties. You can join from Florida if you want. All you have to do is check out our calendar at norcalptec.org/calendar for more upcoming events. We've got a lot of stuff going on all the time, and I'll go over some of those a little bit later. The third thing is pretty neat, and this is just for clients, but we can set you up with a free bid matching service. So you work with your procurement specialist to enter in some desired criteria, and then you will be granted daily access. You'll be notified when federal, state, local, even prime contractor opportunities are posted. So you can stay on top of those, respond to them as quickly as possible. So that's pretty neat. Our clients find that pretty useful. All three of these are offered at no cost to you. So if your business is located in one of these counties here, you're eligible to apply. As we said, everything can be provided remotely. That's our model. So you don't need to leave your office to receive the help you need. To apply, just go ahead and visit norcalptec.org. You can't miss it. It's on that orange link on the page there. There is a red Apply Now button on the page banner. If you click that, it'll bring you to our application portal, and you can fill out steps 1 through 7 and hit save. If you've worked with a small business development center, an SBDC in this region, then you should instead go ahead and email me at info@norcalptec.org so I can send you a special link to apply. Otherwise, it's just going to bring you to the SBDC page. We are one PTAC, but we are part of a network of PTACs that span the whole country. So there's about 94 of them right now. So if you're not in one of these counties and you're starting to feel a little bit sad that you're being excluded, we don't want you to feel that way. You're probably in the jurisdiction of another PTAC. So we do go by geography, and if you could just look up your local PTAC, that would be really beneficial to you. We put the website there. It's aptac-us.org. You can also just type in find a PTAC. That usually comes up with me. Although I have had people tell me that it comes up with advertisements for air conditioning units. So maybe that's, try not to click on those. So you're all joined, muted today for the webinar today. So we will have a Q&A though. So at the end of the presentation, I will read any questions aloud that I receive in the Q&A window. And the way you do this is by clicking on that Q&A button. When it pops up, you can type in your question and hit send. It will go over to me in the back end. I will sit on most of them and then read them aloud once the time comes. So we'll probably have about 10 or 15 minutes for the Q&A at the end. You can direct your question to Asbury, to Liz, to Christina, to anyone, or you can just let it go out there. So do think of good questions during the presentation and enter them in at your will. And one more reminder for folks that weren't there in the beginning that we are recording this session as we speak, and the slides as well as this video recording will be emailed to everyone, posted to our website by the end of the day today, most likely, once it finishes processing. So I think that's just about it for housekeeping. I think we're ready to hand things over to Asbury and Linda, who will talk a bit about their services. So take it away, Asbury.
Thank you, James. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm glad you are all able to attend today. My name is Asbury Lockett. I'm the Center Director of the New America Women's Business Center located in San Jose. As you see on the slide there, we're one of a large network of women's business centers across the nation. There are 14 in the state of California alone. New America Community Foundation is proud to host a couple of those, the one here in San Jose and also the one in Oakland. We're supported and funded through the Small Business Administration, and as are all the women's business centers across the U.S. Just happy to be here today, and just to give you a little bit of information about what it is that we do at the Women's Business Center. We're really here to support, our focus is on women-owned businesses, particularly those socially and economically disadvantaged women-owned businesses, but we do in fact support, basically any small business. So the nice thing that what we do a couple of things. One, we offer training, either standalone by ourselves in terms of we do it alone, or we join with, we collaborate with other organizations such as Norcal PTAC that you're watching today. And we have a variety of other organizations that we do partner with to offer training. We provide sources of information and support, anything from those who are actually just thinking about starting a business, all the way through those who have a well-developed business and looking to grow that business, or having some type of challenges in the business. We're there to support all of you in terms of doing that. So I would encourage anyone who's in any of those categories, whether you're thinking about starting a business all the way through business, to give us a contact us. We will have our information is in the slide toward the end, as James said. You'll get a slide for all of that. So we not only offer training, but we also offer one-on-one direct assistance. So that's really valuable because what allows you to do, if you're thinking about starting a business, or if you're having some challenges in your current business, you're thinking about pivoting due to COVID, there's a bunch of different things we can get into. So I'd encourage you just to contact us. We can set up an appointment to talk with you on a one-on-one basis. All of our services are free. They're confidential. And we have a wide network of partners, like I mentioned earlier. So if we're not the best organization to help you, a lot of times we know of a partnering organization who's really specialized in a particular area that could assist you. So I just encourage you to give us a call. During this time, we're doing everything virtually, just like most organizations are. So all our training is virtual. All of our one-on-one consultations are either through Zoom or through telephone, or we can do it through email, whatever's most convenient for you. So I encourage you to just contact us, see how we can help you. It doesn't cost you anything, and we can lead you maybe to some resources we had no idea that were there. So looking forward to talking with all of you there. So at that, I'm going to pass along to my colleague, Linda Lee, who's our client manager in the San Jose office.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Linda. And so I work closely with Asbury for the San Jose office. We have two offices, like what he mentioned, in Oakland and also in San Jose. And so as a client manager, I do a lot of intake and one-on-one counseling for clients that go through our program, whether that's finding us online or through our partner referral resources. We are here to support small business owners in the Santa Clara, San Jose, and South Bay area. So thank you for joining this morning.
Thank you guys so much for partnering with us for this event here. We're pretty excited to have you. So let me get back to the slides here. It is now, drum roll, time for the main presentation. We have Liz Brazil here, who is one of our excellent procurement specialists, and she's gonna take it away here. So thanks, Liz. You are muted, so let me go ask you to unmute there. There we go.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to join us. My name is Liz Brazil. I'm the Norcal Procurement Specialist at Norcal PTAC. I worked for over 35 years for various government agencies, such as the Bay Area Rapid Transit District, which is referred to as BART, the Alameda County Congestion Management Commission, and the Santa Clara VTA, where I served as the Business Diversity Manager for 8 years. I was tasked with administering the small business and the disadvantaged business enterprise programs, ensuring that the prime contractors comply with the federal, state, local regulations and requirements. I'm very excited about our partnership with the New America Women Business Center. Hopefully, once we get back to normal, or maybe semi-normal, we'll get a chance to meet in person. Until then, I'll be presenting through Zoom to help you consider opening up a new revenue stream, which is the government contracting. Before we get started, I'd like to read the disclosure. The information provided herein is accurate to the best of my ability at the time of this presentation. Some or all of the provisions mentioned herein could or may be changed by the current administration with or without prior notice. So with that, let's get started. Okay, James, I don't think I have the control.
Liz, you got to click on the screen and then you can advance the slides.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay. This presentation is an introduction to government contracting. There are a lot of areas that we'll be covering in a short period of time. Please make sure that you enter your questions and we'll address them in the Q&A session, as James mentioned. We have a panel members with different experience and expertise, and mostly subject matter experts. Our agenda will cover the following areas. What is government contracting? Is your business ready? And then we're going to get into local, state, federal contracting and certification. And lastly, finding opportunities and getting started. What is government contracting? The government purchases a lot of products and services ranging from pencils to pens to toilet paper to construction, professional services, and everything in between. And there are 3 main levels of government. Local, which is your city and county. You have the state of California, and we have federal. We have a lot of federal agencies. The Transportation Agency, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. There's a lot of them. Each level has their own way of doing business and their own registrations and certifications available to businesses. But in addition, we also have California Public Utilities Commission, along with some special districts like the Transportation, VTA is one of them, which has a vast amount of contracting opportunities. And lastly, there's 2 main types of contracts, a prime contract and a subcontract. And the definition basically is, if you are a prime contractor, you are the primary contractor on the project. This individual firm is responsible for the entire project. It must be complete. They must complete the project on time and under budget. A subcontractor is hired under the prime contractor or the project owner. So those are the main things that you should be aware of. The government is a little bit different. You know, there's a lot of things like clauses in the contracts. And basically, these are clauses to protect the interests of the government and ensure good use of public funds. So as a small business, make sure that you read and understand those clauses. Why consider government contracting? A lot of people are constantly reviewing this, but basically it's a new revenue stream. The Small Business Administration is required by law to provide 23% of all opportunities to small businesses. With their annual spend of approaching $600 billion, that's approximately $138 billion going to small businesses. The state of California spent $10.5 billion in fiscal year 2018-2019. And that means that $2.2 billion was awarded to small businesses. Local governments also have spent, and those are things to look forward to is, you know, not only is the state of California, but also the cities and the counties are purchasing goods and materials and hiring professional services and contractors, construction. Government agencies also have set aside contracts for small and diverse businesses and set contracting diversity goals. And these are a requirement for receiving federal or state funding. So it is an advantage for you to do government contracting, get certified, and to learn more about it. What does the government buy? A lot of people are just surprised about the amount of things that is purchased. You know, the county of Alameda has the jail system, they have hospitals, they have housing, so many different things. But in addition to that, you know, they also have offices that needs cleaning products. So in addition to professional services and construction, there are a lot of things that the government buys. And these are just some of the ones that was listed. So the next thing I wanted to do, and especially if there's anything that you can get out of this presentation, is to review the way that you're doing your business. You know, are you ready? You know, are you an established business? Do you have a business plan? A lot of people don't understand that, you know, a business plan needs to be revisited. You can't just put one together and then think that everything will go. No, it's a live document. And in some cases, especially at these times, things are constantly changing so quickly that if you have a business plan, try to visit it. Can you afford to sell to the government? You know, the government purchases a lot of things, but you got to consider, do you have the capacity? Do you have the resource? Those are the things that you should consider. Do you have a history of sales? Have you done the necessary market research to ensure that you're actually going after the right prospect that demands your product or service? Is your company e-commerce capable, especially these times, the COVID times? It's very important that you have a website, okay? And if you're not able to have a website, you gotta do some really creative marketing. Now, if you answered some of these questions, maybe you're ready for government contracting. And these are the areas that we can help you with. Who is your customer? So we have the state, federal, the local, which includes the cities and the counties. And these are some of the certifications that may apply to those. So we have the SBA 8A, we have the HubZone, which is the underutilized businesses zone. We also have Cal eProcure and Caltrans, which is one of the largest state agencies. And we also, in addition to that, have the counties and the cities. So this third topic, I want to spend some time in, the difference between local, state, federal contracting and certification, and the benefits of being certified. Not only are you going to be added to the database so that it's part of your marketing, because if the prime contractor is looking for a specific type of business, they would look at the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Database, the Small Business Database, or vendors who are certified as local or small local, and so on. So one of the things is you have increased access to government contracting opportunities, okay? It helps you set your company apart from your competitors. So that's one of the advantages. And in addition to that, they also have some mentor protege programs. And the nice thing about this presentation, and I know there's a lot of information, they have links to some of these. So the mentor protege program, if you click on that link, they'll give you more information, okay? We have set-aside contracts, and sometimes they also have sole source contracts. This also allows you to have village subcontracts on a large project that are required to source work for qualifying small business or disadvantaged business enterprise. You are accessible to prime contractors needing to fulfill their goals because they can search your business through these databases. The government is probably also one of the most reliable customers you will have. Now let's start with local contracting. Selling to your local cities and counties. This is actually a start for you to get your feet wet and get some performance experience. I was just talking to one of my clients and they said, yeah, my last job is actually my best marketing for my next job. And yeah, you start small and you continue to grow. In many counties and cities, there are local preference programs. So that even though your bid is higher, you may be awarded the contract because of this local business preference. So check out their website. We do also have these links in the Norcal PTAC so that you can click on this link and find out the county's procurement website, register as a vendor, and also learn about their programs specifically for local businesses. And also, if you want to Google the city or county name and purchasing, you'll be able to get that. So there's a lot of information that you can obtain, but start by clicking these links. The next one is State of California registration. A lot of times when I work with my clients, one of the things that we do is to identify the United Nations Standard Products and Services Code. These are referred to as the UNSPSC code. This is the code that's recognized by the state of California. And if you click on that link and you type a specific keyword, and it'll provide you with a code that you'll need. Also, the state has a database procurement called Cal eProcure. Register as a vendor. You can even certify as a small business micro and small business public works. And in addition to that, if you're a disabled veteran business enterprise, you can also get certified for that under Cal eProcure. So you are eligible as a brand new business, so take advantage of it. And there's various types of state certification, as I mentioned. small business, you have to be less than $50 million a year and also less than 100 employees. You are considered a small business under the state certification. Now, a small business for the purpose of public work, you have to be $15 million to $36 million a year and less than 200 employees. And lastly, disabled veteran business enterprise, business owned and managed by U.S. military veterans, disabled in service. And there's a nice little video that the Department of General Services put together. And if you want to view that, you can click on the small business certification video. And this is probably another certification. As I mentioned earlier, the California Public Utilities Commission also have different programs under the General Order 156, which is the Women-Owned Business Certification, or sometimes referred to as WBE. The definition is it has to be a business enterprise that is at least 51% owned by a woman. If publicly owned business, at least 51% of the stock, which is owned by one or more of the women. So those are things under the WBE program. The nice thing about the WBE is, again, under General Order 156, 15% goal for minority-owned business. They have a 5% goal for women-owned and a 1.5% goal for service-disabled veterans. And for more information, just click on the Supplier Clearinghouse and get certified. Now let's get into the federal registration. One of the things that the categories of work is defined in the North American Industry Classification System, or sometimes referred to as NIC code. So a lot of people are saying, okay, why do we have this? Because the categories of work are defined in the census. So if you're providing professional services, your code would be 541330. If you're in construction, it would start with 237 and so on. So one of the things about it is that it gives you a way for the government agencies and the prime contractors to find your type of code. So if they're searching for a specific type of services, they would look you up under your NIC code. And also, for government contracting, you have to have a DUNS number. And pretty soon, I think it's going to change to UEI. The DUNS number provides you with identification so that you can register in the System Award Management System, which is a requirement. It's a mandatory requirement for doing business with the U.S. government. But a lot of these, Norcal PTAC can assist you. Any one of our procurement officers can help you get your DUNS number, and we can help you register with SAM. But just like anything else, be wary of scammers. Make sure it has the .gov extension and not a .com. I had a client who mentioned that this company wanted to charge them $1,500 to assist them in registering with SAM. And those are the things that you have to be careful of, you know. So just be careful. And part of the SAM registration also allows you to update your small business profile so that your dynamic small business search will be updated with your capability statement and certain keywords. And the federal certifications, we have the women-owned small business, but we also have the economically disadvantaged women-owned business. We have the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, which is referred to as DBE, We also have the SBA 8A Business Development Program. Hub Zone, as I mentioned, is the historically underutilized business zone. And we also have the Small Business Protege. For more in-depth information, click on these links. Just a short definitions of a women-owned, because I think it's really important if you're considering in getting certified, especially as part of your business. Take advantage, you know. For the women-owned small business, you have to be a small business as indicated in the NIC size standard. Must be at least 51 owned and controlled by women who are U.S. citizens. Women must manage day-to-day operations and make long-term decisions. You can't own a business and have somebody else run your operation or make, you know, the hiring and the firing, okay? And you have to be able to control it, make decisions about your business. So those are the requirements. And again, you know, we have our senior procurement officer, Christina Jones, who will be able to answer any questions that you may have in here. Also, we have the economically disadvantaged women-owned small business. This one is a little bit different because it's less than $750,000 with adjusted gross income of $350,000. Applicants must have 6 million personal assets. DBE certification. A lot of people working for federal government do get DBE certification. What is it? It's a program designed to ensure small disadvantaged business enterprise firms can compete fairly for federally funded transportation-related projects and assist firms in competing outside of the program. So Caltrans and other certifying agencies can help and assist you. We can help you put together your application and review all your documentation. But for a brief overview, you can look at the DBE brochure that's provided by Caltrans, which is the California Transportation Department. The criteria is you have to be social and economically disadvantaged. Your personal net worth cannot exceed 1.32. You must meet the business size standard. You must have 51 ownership, and you have to have management and control. One of the things I was tasked with at VTA is reviewing the DBE applications. And one of the things that's changed lately, because the very last step is actually doing on-site visits. Now everything is conducted via Zoom meetings or online. But as procurement officers, we can help you, prepare you for these on-site visits so that you'll be aware of the different types of questions that they'll ask, and also any other questions that you may have regarding your application. There's a lot of things that I mentioned here, and one of the things that we have in Norcal PTAC is we do have resources. So here's a resource checklist. If you're interested in the women-owned business checklist, economically disadvantaged, the 8A, the Hub Zone, All Mentor Protege, click on this website. These are also available on the SBA certified website. So if you want to learn more and consider getting certified, check this out. Find contracting opportunities. And what Norcal PTAC basically do is help you win government contracts. So we will help you navigate through various databases. The state has the Cal eProcure, which you can search through the state database for open solicitations. You can search by keywords, by regions, even by license. So there's many, many different types of filter that you can do. And if you register, you'll automatically get an email alert for upcoming contracts. So that's a good thing. Make sure you register for that. We also have the federal database, which is the betasam.gov. This is the single point of entry for federal government procurement, over 25,000. So if you want to register for this and get email alerts, please do so at betasam.gov. And a lot of times too, you know, there are different types of contracts that is small, and those are normally procured as sole source. So there's various ways you can find out about those different types of contracts and learn about them. And lastly, local. I mentioned earlier that we do have a link for the county and city. If you're interested, register as a vendor, you know, get notified of upcoming contracting opportunities. These are great ways to actually learn and, you know, market yourself. You know, in old times, you can go to networking events and, you know, meet person face to face, but times have changed. Sometimes you have to do some things differently. I remember one time when we had an outreach event at VTA, one of the vendors came up to me and said, you know, I'm a florist. I provide flowers, and how do I get into contracting? And in the back of my mind, I was saying, okay, I'm not sure if we really do need flowers, but just like anything else, I said, you know, you just never know. So please sign up and register as a vendor in our VTA database. And sure enough, she did. But in addition to that, she also applied for DBE certification, which is automatically referred to also as a small business. If you're a DBE, you're automatically an SBE. So lo and behold, you know, we had employees who retired, and we thought, well, it would be nice to have a bouquet of flowers, right, for the retirement party. And then also, just like any agencies, we had employees, funeral services, and the purchasing department said, hey, let's look up our database for flowers. And sure enough, they were able to find this vendor who can provide flowers. And in addition, were able to help us meet our small business and disadvantaged business enterprise because she was certified. So the thing about this is, you know, market yourself. Find those opportunities and market yourself. And this one is, let's get started. So get registered as a vendor, market yourself, get certified if you're eligible. It's very useful and it's to your advantage. Do your research, know your competitors, you know. What advantage do you have over other competitors? Familiarize yourself with the agencies, agency representatives who purchase what you sell. Deep down, relationship building is the key. And just like anything else, you know, they may not need your services today, but tomorrow may be a different story. Don't be afraid to start small, you know. Start local, then go to your state, and then federal. So all of these that I have gone through is one of the services that we provide. So contact your local PTAC for free assistance and also the Women Business Center. You're not alone, and we're here to help you. And with that, I thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to James.
Perfect. Thanks, Liz. I thought that was great. So I just wanted to throw up the contact information here for our partners from the Women's Business Center. So you will get these slides, so you'll be able to copy and paste this information at your leisure afterwards. In addition, I want to go over some of the upcoming events that we have. So this Thursday, just in 2 days, we have an introduction to SBIR and STTR funding. So this is an area that PTAC actually helps out with. It's for if your business is involved in technology and innovation. We are partnering with the Tech Futures Group and the Small Business Development Center for this one to talk about this pretty niche topic. So check it out if you think you might be interested. Then we have a webinar that we're partnering with a legal firm, white collar legal firm called Manat. We will be offering a webinar on bid protests. So how to protest a bid if you don't get it or there's something wrong. So that will be on November 18th. Both of them are at 10 a.m. and you can find other upcoming events on our website. We keep it updated as soon as we know that we've got something on the books. So like I said, these are all free. You don't need to pay anything to join these. You can join them from anywhere. Don't need to be a client. So it's easy, no brainer. And now we have some time for questions. And because we always get questions about this, I just want to let everyone know a couple things. One, we are recording this session. Everyone's going to get the slides, so we don't need to worry about that. Let's see. I know I'm forgetting something. Yeah, if you ask a question, just you know, be specific so we understand what you're saying, but not so specific to your particular situation that it's not really of use to anyone else. So just think of what's a good question for everyone to go over all at once. If you have a question that's very specific just to your case, you can go ahead and email me at info@norcalptac.org and I'll see what I can do to get it answered. And for those of you who might be taking off before the Q&A, just to let you know, there is a you will be redirected to a page that will have a Google form link. If you click on that, it's not going to give you a virus or anything. It's just going to redirect you to our satisfaction survey, our evaluation form. It takes 30 seconds to a minute to fill out. You can do it anonymously, and it makes a big difference to us. Just to let you know, let us know what you thought, and it makes a big difference to our funder as well. So that would be really appreciated. But we're not there yet. We got 15 minutes here for a Q&A, so let's launch right in. Okay. Carolyn wants the slides. Okay, you will get those. Let's see. Pam is wondering, can a company identify with more than one NAICS code? For example, catering and event planning, business consulting and training.
Yes. If that is the type of work that you do and you have various different, yes, you can have multiple NIC codes, but you don't want to have too many to the point where they can't determine exactly what your business do, right? So be mindful and we can help you search for those NIC codes. Christina, is there something you would like to add?
No, I think that was sufficient to, yes, you can have multiple NAICS codes. Make sure that they are really relevant to what you can provide, and really don't have 100 NAICS codes because it probably means you don't really understand what you sell.
Absolutely. So that was a good question. Pam has another question here. Where can new businesses get competitive information about current bidders in their field? Can public records requests seek services being provided today for given government or public entities?
There's a lot of information out there, and that's why I would highly recommend that you sign up for Norcal PTAC, because we can help you search previously awarded contracts and review those with you.
I would add that, yes, you can get public records, specifically if you're doing business, for instance, with the state of California. The Public Records Act for California is pretty, comprehensive what you receive. You can also get information through the Freedom of Information Act with the federal government, but sometimes the information is really redacted and sometimes you don't get a response, but it is available under the Freedom of Information Act for each agency.
Perfect. All right. The anonymous attendee is asking, for SBA government contracts, can nonprofit organizations apply, or is it only for entities structured as a business enterprise?
Yes, nonprofits can apply for government contracts.
There we go. But as a note, nonprofits unfortunately cannot apply for PTAC services. So you can join our events, but we won't be able to assist you as clients. So best of luck.
The same applies to WBC as well.
All right. Can you please give us the link for SBDC advisors to request assistance with registration? That's going to depend on where you're located. You can do a little bit of research and just find, like if you're in Alameda County, just type in SBDC Alameda County. It'll come up with your correct location. So it's just a little bit of legwork there, but and then just reach out to them based on the contact information on the website. What references are typically used when a new business does not have solid or any service of sales history? That's a good question.
Liz, or you want me to?
Yeah, normally you don't have to have references, but it is good to have references. But if you're just starting as a business, you may want to get into your qualifications. But Christina, what would you?
I believe, and I could be incorrect, that they're referring to more of past performance, like what can they use to show that they are, they have past performance in this industry, or what can they put in that slot is a lot of times the question that I get. And if you're a new business, typically you're going to draw from your experience. So perhaps you're, an engineer and you've worked for a big company and then you're starting this business. So you don't have any actual past performance under the business, but you do have quite a bit of experience working on projects. So, there's not an exact way you can do this, but sometimes I recommend, depending on what the experience is, we could talk about this individually, but to list that this is the past performance of a key employee. And so then you can list some of the types of projects that you've done. So you're a key employee of your current company, right? But you don't, so that experience you drag into or bring into your new business.
All right. Someone's asking about services in Los Angeles County. And just to note again that we PTACs work off geography. So we are Norcal PTAC. So LA is Southern California. So just look up your local PTAC, and I happen to know that's the Los Angeles County PTAC. Are there any specific programs for disabled women?
Not that I know of.
No, I know of either.
WOSB is, yeah.
But there's 3 different types. There's women-owned business, there's economically women-owned business, and also the women business enterprise programs. So these are 3 different types of women-specific certification programs. I have not heard of a disabled women program, unfortunately.
All right. Dewey Lim is asking, please explain the 23% SBA requirement. Is the SBA actually involved with the bids? Are purchase orders being issued by the SBA?
SBA overall has a 23% small business goal. So they can meet or attain that goal through various types, either supplies, professional services, or construction. So every year they do have to report if they met that 23% overall spend for small business.
And so I guess they're asking, like, is the SBA actually buying stuff? Is it the SBA that's doing the purchasing that needs to reach 23%?
No, the SBA is tracking it for all of the federal agencies. And so they're reporting it on a scorecard annually. 23%, hopefully they meet, which most of the time they do meet, of goods and services procured from small businesses. And then they also have woman-owned goals, minority-owned, which is through the 8A program, veteran-owned, and hub-zone. So all of the certs that Liz covered, they are tracking how many bids are given to those types of businesses. And then once a year, they put out a scorecard letting you know how they did.
Perfect. Does a disabled veteran have to have 51% control or more for certification?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
All right, nice and simple. Can you delve a little bit more into the concept of being financially ready to take on a government contract?
Unfortunately for me as a procurement specialist, I do not assist in the financial area, but I believe the SBDC, the Small Business Development Centers, may be able to assist you in that area. Ashbury, does the Women Business Center help with financial?
Yes, definitely they can come to us and we'll take a look at it and go through that with them.
Perhaps they're asking, like, what exactly, what does it look like to be financially ready to take on a government contract? For instance, I mean, not being able to, can you fulfill the contract without receiving payment up front, et cetera?
Right. So it'll be taking a look at the cash flow, going into the cash flow in terms of what the contract would be for, you know, what cash would be needed up front when they get the money from the government, that sort of thing. So making sure that they're in a financial position to be able to do that.
I would just add that just in general, are you able to, purchase supplies or, provide services up front without being paid for, hypothetically 60 days or, even longer in some cases and sometimes shorter. But are you able to provide those products and services up front? And are you able to, bear the cost of marketing to the government? There is a cost there. Time, less travel and so forth now because of COVID, but there's a cost with developing a contracting sales revenue. So, a sales funnel. So do you have the bandwidth as far as financially to be able to bear that upfront until you make a profit, which may not be till 6 months. It may not be till 18 months. So do you have, enough finances, cash flow in order to sustain that?
It's an important point there. So good question. Is it appropriate to look at old contracts that have been awarded and then reach out to the buyers independently to market yourself? Erica is wondering.
Sometimes. Sometimes it does. There are especially companies have looked up where they've, or we've looked up together where they're consistently purchasing something, and sometimes they are successful in reaching out to the buyers and getting sales of it. Several companies do that, but it's not foolproof. It's just one of the many avenues that we would discuss depending on your company case by case during a session. But so my answer is sometimes.
Yeah, that's the same way I would do it too, because it really depends on the different types of contracts. Sometimes the contract's renewed every 3 years. Sometimes the contract's renewed every 5 years. They may or may not assign it to the same contract administrator, but it doesn't hurt. So I agree. Sometimes it helps.
Perfect. So where, Danya is wondering, where do we go to find out how much the federal and state governments spend on goods and services per year?
The General Accounting Office, I believe, has that information, and it was in one of the slides that I put together. And that's where you can get that information. Hold on. I think it's the... Yeah, I think it's the General Accounting Office. So that will have that information of how much the government spends, and also there's a website for California. And if you send me an email through James, I can give you the exact link.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Looks like we only have a couple more minutes, but we have more questions that we can get to. So if your question wasn't answered, you can email me and I'll see what I can do. Someone's wondering, we're having trouble getting DBE certified, something about owning our own real estate, where our business operates. We're already WOSB, MBE, and SBE certified. If we can't get DBE certified, can we still bid on these projects? Because it depends on which these projects are, right?
You can always bid on the project. They just can't get credit for you as a DBE because you are not DBE certified. So nothing should prevent you from bidding on any of the projects. But a lot of the federally funded projects do have some DBE goals. So those are the things that you must meet or provide or document good faith effort.
All right.
Yeah.
But perhaps if you're bidding as a sub, you might have to be a DBE, right?
There's a
No,
preference. I think you're speaking of, Liz, right? So you won't receive the preference. So for federal government, there are set-asides, but for the state, there's preferences. So you won't receive the preference, which just won't usually make you as attractive if other DBEs are bidding.
I think there's certain procurement contracts that has a specific goal. So if they have a 15% DBE goal set by Caltrans, the prime contractor must meet or demonstrate good faith effort. Now they can do this by hiring DBE subcontractors to meet that goal, or provide good faith effort. So if it's a DBE goal, it's mandatory.
All right. Looks like maybe we can go a little bit. Someone's asking what my email address is. It is info@norcalptac.org. You'll get it on the slides. Let me see. Go back to, you can see it on the bottom there, info@norcalptac.org. Approximately how long does the WOSB certification process take place?
I believe it's 90 days, but Christina would probably be more familiar with that.
I'm sorry, with how long it takes to get DBE certified?
WOSB.
Oh, WOSB.
90 days?
Yeah, 90 days is what they're quoting, but because it's a new certification program as far as a third party through the SBA, we just kind of have to wait and see what's happening. There were first initial certifications that were released after October 15th, but I'm not sure what their current turnaround is.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that we could wrap. We do have a couple more questions, but like I said, just let me know in my private email, and I will see what I can do for you. Thanks everyone for joining, and a huge thanks to Asbury and Linda and the New America Women's Business Center. Thanks, Liz, for all the research and putting in the time for the presentation, and Christina for making yourself available. And of course, to all of our participants, you're why we do this, so we're happy to have you here. It was a good turnout. Once again, when you leave, you'll be directed to a survey. I'm also going to send out the link in an email this afternoon. If you could just fill that out, it really helps us a lot. It doesn't take too long. And one more reminder that you will receive the slides. They will have active clicking links in them, and you will also receive the video, which will be posted to YouTube and our website. So Thanks again, everyone, and I hope you have a nice Tuesday afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.